baby. We live. Sorry for sorry for the delay. Oh man, we know we're supposed to be on at 7:30, but we're just getting back to it. We're getting back to it. I wasn't. I've been gone. We weren't live last week. I was gone. I was on vacation. I was in Puerto Rico for my birthday, and now we're getting back to it. We're getting back on. I'm just waiting for Strictly Boxing Talk to get back in the chat. I decided just to go live because I don't know if people are tuning in or clicking the link that I posted, and we weren't live yet. So I just wanted to go live. I'm gonna put it in a waiting room, and I'm going to wait. I'm gonna wait a little bit, see if Strictly Boxing Talk gets in, and then we'll go back to the both of us on the channel. So, welcome to the waiting room. Check it out. Yo, if y'all in the chat right now, say what's up. And we're gonna I'm just waiting for Strictly Boxing Talk to get up on the live so we can go ahead and have the discussions. But yeah, if y'all were waiting for us to go live last week, my bad because we weren't live last week. I was on vacation. What's up? What's up, chat? Drop a comment. Let me know if y'all ready. Y'all ready? Y'all ready or what? We're gonna get into today. We got a couple topics that I think y'all might like. Let's see. I'll go over some of the topics we're gonna be discussing today while we're waiting for Strictly Boxing. Let me see here. I'm gonna pull up the topics real quick. And then right here. So let's see. Well, the main topic of today, how we're gonna get into it is boxing. Are we in a golden era right now, or we're just is it just a social media era? So that's kind of what we're gonna be talking about. If you have any thoughts or anything like that, go ahead and drop a comments in the chat. But is boxing in a golden era, or are we just in a social media era? Something that's kind of been talked about a lot too is are undefeated records, or is that overrated, or is protecting the O killing fights? And they were kind of seeing how that was like after Floyd Mayweather, right? Now we're kind of getting into we have Teofimo that has like a couple losses. Ryan Garcia has a couple losses. Devin Haney had a loss, but it's not there no more. Rolling Romero has a loss. Um, Keith Thurman has losses. He's fighting for a belt. Who else? Earl Spence is supposed to be coming back. He has a loss. So like there's are fighters that have losses on the records that are currently right now, right? And most of the Hall of Famers and the greats all had undefeated records, but there's only a couple that retired. Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, Terrence Crawford. These guys retired with undefeated records. Is that something that's kind of overrated, or in protecting the O, is that killing fights? We're gonna be getting into that today as well. What else? Do we think Ryan Garcia changed the game after his latest win? How is that looking? How is the landscape of boxing now that Ryan Garcia is the champion? Does that change anything, or do you think everything stays the same? Is Devin Haney underrated, or just not exciting enough for casuals? You know, that kind of question goes towards Shakur Stevenson as well, right? But I don't know. There's a lot to discuss. Okay, I didn't know that. Put y'all back in the waiting room. Let me see. Check it out. Check it out. So let me let me ask y'all something real quick. Is boxing actually in a golden era, or are we just living in a social media era of boxing? Right? Because right now we got stars like Canelo Álvarez, Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, all claiming to be the biggest name in the sport. But tonight we're gonna talk about the truth behind boxing right now. Who's the real face of the sport? Whether protecting the undefeated record is hurting boxing, or which which fight can break the next pay per view record. So let's jump in. Let's jump in the chat and let's get into it. Right. All right. People keep saying boxing is back in the golden era, but here's the real question: Are fights bigger, or is the promotion bigger? Right. Back in the day, you had legends like Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali, where everyone in the world knew their name. Now, fighters can build a following online before they even become champions. So let me ask the chat. Is boxing bigger today or just louder because of social media? Right. I guess I guess you would just say I would say bigger because of all the technology now, right? But I don't know, like to play devil's advocate, I would think boxing was for me boxing was a lot bigger back then in the back back before, just because I say because it was harder to promote yourself, right? It was everything was word of mouth based off people talk about you in the barbershops, people talk about you at home at parties. Like I remember my grandfathers and my dads and my uncles playing dominoes or like sitting back and then just talking boxing, and that's how I got into it. That's how I learned about boxing. Now it's you can have 10 million followers on social media, but not everybody's gonna know about you. There's people that are streamers or different type of content creators, right? I don't know them, but my son might know them. It's different. Yes. So it's kind of hard to say who is bigger or where was bigger, right? Now, one thing that changed the business of boxing forever was that undefeated record, right? The zero. When Floyd Mayweather Jr. finished 50-0, it turned the O into a marketing tool. Now fighters protect that record like it's gold. But here's the crazy part. Sometimes some of the greatest fighters ever had losses, right? Ali had losses. Sugar Ray Leonard had losses. Roberto Duran had losses. And they still fought everybody. So the question is protecting the undefeated record ruining big fights today? Yes, it was. Right now, we got fighters like Teofimo Lopez that is willing to fight. Right? He has losses on his records, but he's still moving up. And way you have Ryan Garcia is willing to fight tanks. The Devin Haney's. So he's willing to fight and put these so-called perfect records on the line. Hate him or love him, but yes, Tyson Fury's out there that have losses on their record. Anthony Joshua's. There's guys that are still have losses on their records. Um, does it still hinder some of these fights getting made? Yeah, it does. I believe it does because people want to retire undefeated. Like, who doesn't want to retire undefeated? But if you're not fighting the best, does that O really mean anything if you don't actually fight the best? Man, like I said, Ryan Garcia, like love him or hate him, you have to talk about the impact of Ryan Garcia. You have to talk about it. He's willing. He's fought tanks. He's fought the Devin Haney's. Yeah. Say what you want about those things, but hey, his fight with his fight with Tank Davis, I mean, it reportedly did about 1.2 million pay-per-view buys, and that's one of the biggest boxing events in years. Ryan he also has 10 million followers on Instagram. So here's the question. Like, did Ryan Garcia change the way fighters build stardom in boxing? I believe so, right? Because today in this age, you have to have something you bring to the table to go ahead and and to use in negotiations. So if you know, hey, I got 10 million followers on Instagram, I'm gonna bring viewers. Then now you have some type of backing to have in negotiations when you're trying to get these fights done, right? Like now, you can talk about who's the most skilled fighters in the sport, Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson and Usyk, like these guys, right? But when you look at Devin Haney, right, former undisputed champion, undefeated record, elite elite boxing IQ, but casual fans always say the same thing. He's not exciting. So here's the debate. Is Devin Haney underrated, or does boxing today reward fighters who bring chaos instead of skill? For me, as a boxing fan, casual experts here, I want to see I want to see some type of violence, but I also want to see that the sweet science, the technique. But when you need to have that killer instinct as well, because when you have them hurt, that IQ should kick in. Where like, okay, he's hurt. Let me take him out, because that's part of the boxing. Kill or be killed out there. Like, take the chance when it's calculated and when it's right. And so yeah, you get look at Devin Haney's performances. He with Jose Ramirez, right? Yeah, horrible performance. But then you get a performance. Then you get a performance like when he fought Brian Norman Jr. Incredible fight, right? But he could have took him out. Like he could have took him out, but he didn't. Because why? Because they're playing it safe. You're playing it safe, and when you have that chance to take him out, you need to take out the fighter. Like that's what people want to see. I'm not saying going out there and just throw caution to the wind and just let everything go. You know, you be smart about it. Yeah, you use technique. But when he's hurt and when the fighter has no more confidence, you can see it, you can feel it in the ring, and that's when you shouldn't be able. That's when you need to take him out. Now, I don't know if this is gonna start a war in the chat or start in the comments or whatever it is, but right now, the biggest names in boxing are Canelo Álvarez, Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia. Those are the biggest names in boxing. Canelo's a global superstar right now. Okay, Tank, he sells out the arenas, and then Ryan, he dominates the social media, the streamers. But you can only pick one, right? Only pick one. So I want to see, right, in the if you're in the chat, go ahead and drop it. Who's the real face of boxing in 2026? Let me know. I would say after I got a lot of hate on this when I dropped the take that I had about Ryan Garcia being the new face of boxing. Yeah, Canelo's still a global superstar, and people are still gonna tune in to watch Canelo. Tank, yeah, he does sell out arenas, knockout artist. He has a lot of eyes on him, but he's not fighting right now. Tank is not fighting. There's a lot of outside noise that's going along with Tank's name, and so we not. I don't know when we're gonna see Tank fight again. The last time he was gonna fight was gonna be against a Jake Paul. So it's like I don't know what's going on in that situation. And Ryan Garcia, he's finally a champion. Yeah, it took him. You can say it took him 10 years. It took him so long for him to become a champion. But look at now he's a champion. You know he brings in numbers. You know he has eyes on him. Uh, One of the biggest draws in boxing, attention wise, he has all the attention around him, and now he's solidified as a champion. I can care less what people say about, yeah, he fought Barrios, he fought this. That doesn't fucking matter to me. He's a WBC world champion with a big name, a lot of eyes on him, and whoever he fights is gonna bring attention to that match. So when it comes down to it, who's the face of boxing? Yeah, he's not gonna be your ideal face of boxing, right? He's not gonna be a Floyd Mayweather. He's not Canelo Álvarez. Hey, maybe he will. Maybe he goes and he defends his title 3-4 times. Maybe he goes and gets that rematch against Rolly and beats him, and then beats Devin Haney. Now he has 3 belts, and then he goes and becomes undisputed. You don't know what's gonna happen, but as of right now, as a world champion with the one of the biggest draws at this moment, I would consider him the face of boxing. And if you disagree with me, let me know. Like let's talk about it. That's what I'm here for. Let's talk about it. Hey, and then we got Zuffa Boxing, right? Zuffa Boxing's here, and there's also a lot of talk about Zuffa possibly entering Zuffa entering the boxing world. They've already had three bouts. Now it's the same company that built the UFC. Now and the ranking system is going to be different. I don't know. I'm here for this, right? I don't say it's going to destroy the sport. I don't see that. I see them gradually improving, and that's what they've been doing. I've watched all of their bouts. Zuffa Boxing 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we have this weekend we have Jaya Apataya fighting for the inaugural Zuffa light heavyweight. Is it light heavyweight bout? So I'm here for this. I like fighters to have options. Look what Eddie Hearn is doing. He just signed Tom Aspinall to a promotional company. So hey, let's give fighters options. There's no promoters. There's no promotional companies without fighters, right? So the more options fighters have, it's better for the fighters. They can make their own decision. Let them make their decision on what they want to do, right? They're the ones fighting. They're the ones entertaining us. So I see nothing wrong with that. So let's talk super fights. Super fights. What fight right now breaks the next pay-per-view record? What's the possible? So possible mega fights will be what? Of course, everybody's going to Tank versus Ryan 2. I would say Canelo versus Benavidez. And then if Crawford does come back, it'll be a Canelo versus Crawford rematch or Crawford versus Boots. Which one of those sells the most? I am going with Canelo versus Benavidez is going to sell the most. Tank versus Ryan would be right there, but I don't know if it's going to sell like a Canelo versus Benavidez. Maybe it does now because Ryan's champion, right? Ryan got some belt now. But where would they fight? So that's the thing, you got to look at it. Ryan's at 147, and Tank's going to put a rehydration clause if they fight again. So where would they fight? Like, yes, that would do numbers, but it has to make sense at a certain weight class that Ryan's comfortable at, that Tank's comfortable at. But for me, that biggest fight right now will be Canelo versus Benavidez. That's going to be the biggest fight. But where do we do that fight as well? Do you do a catch weight at 170? 160? Does Benavidez go back down to 168? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But hey, I'm gonna be here Thursdays at 7:30. I was on vacation last week. I was in Puerto Rico for my birthday. I got to meet Tito Trinidad in Puerto Rico on my last day, which is super cool. Grew up watching him, legend, and we had a conversation just on the state of boxing, or how's he been and what's going on, and it was pretty cool, man. Shout out to Xander Zejas, Oscar Collazo fighting this weekend in Anaheim. Shout out to Amanda Serrano. Those are all people that he's backing and he's looking at. That's what we kind of had the conversation about. It's dope, but we're gonna cut this live a little short this week. But I'm gonna be back next Thursday. We're gonna talk about this weekend's fight, Arnold Barboza versus Kenneth Sims. We'll talk about how that went down. My prediction. I'm riding with Arnold Barboza Jr. I got that on that one. I got Oscar Collazo as well, and I got Gabriel Fundora for winning. So those are my picks for this weekend for Golden Boy in Anaheim. I'll be at the event, so if you're around, you see me there. Say what's up. I'll be in the building it's not this weekend. Next weekend. So on Thursday we're gonna get more depth into that, March 14th in Anaheim. I'm still on vacation right now. My mind's elsewhere. But hey, Casual Extras podcast. I'm Mike Theory. I'll be back live 7:30 on Thursday. Every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Casual Extras podcast. Hit my DMs. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what y'all think that what we talked about today. Kind of ran through it a little bit. But yeah, we live.